Did that because when we first started the company nearly 13 years ago, or it's long enough, 14 years ago, we were the only people out there making this product, or making a dedicated insulation membrane. But as it has gained more credence out there, people have looked at this a little bit more favourably and thought, well, there's possibly a market out there. So there's been a lot of copycats out there, a lot of people basing themselves, calling them reflective paints.
Yes.
And whilst if you put a light colour on there, obviously it's better than a dark colour. Now what these guys do who go along and sell reflective paints, they're actually shooting themselves in the foot, because they're just basing it totally on reflectivity. Solar energy is just three components: visible light, infrared, UV. Those are the three components of solar energy. Visible, reflective may be UV stable with most products, but they don't address the most destructive form of heat energy, solar energy. That's infrared. That's your heat component. So when these buildings get tarnished, or they get soiled or something like that, they become totally ineffective. Those tanks that we did up in Bortley, and around every single winery you'll find, particularly around the crush area, they get exceedingly black from the mildew that prevails around them. And some of those tanks are actually black as a result of the mildew. Product's still working.
Wow.
That means that we can actually tint that product, and there are illustrations of tints over here, where we can tint it and it's still effective. Not as effective as white for obvious reasons, but however, it's still effective. So these guys who run around, and they do this for commercial benefit, to go along and say they've got the same insulation values that we've got, they have the same sort of benefits that we have. They don't. So what we did, we decided that there were a lot of guys coming on the horizon going to say a lot of things and take our middle ground from us. We went down the path of just keeping ahead of the game. So we did ourselves an ISO 9000, which is procedural, followed by an ISO 14000, which is environmental, followed by a life cycle analysis, and also followed by Section J of the building code. That means that if you apply Thermoshield to a premises, it can add to your star value.
Yes.
So if you're building a 5 or 6 star rated building, whilst there's no individual product that will give you a specific star rating, it is all the components that go into the build that contribute towards a star rating. So we have deliberately set ourselves apart at great expense and frustration on our part and sometimes, however, to get ourselves in that position to set ourselves up, because this environmental movement is catching up and people are now looking for answers.
And so it would be unwise of me to source a similar product out of China.
Yeah, definitely.